Surprisingly, this place is closed down. Are you fucking joking? Business Anchors podcast is sponsored by Ramuna. We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast, where we're talking about people, but I don't just mean gossiping like we normally do. We're talking about the secret behind client relationships, first impressions in business, and of course, we'll be announcing the winner of that signed Gary V book that everyone's very excited about. Whee! High energy there, Dan.
Yes,
I'm
here.
I really felt that you were really into that intro.
Today. People, Lloyd, we're going to be talking about people, aren't we?
Yeah.
People are interesting.
But not just when we talk like behind people's backs like we normally do when the cameras aren't on us.
Well, we're going to do that as well, I think.
Yeah. No, we are nice. I do feel with this podcast, sometimes, because we're quite honest about some stuff in business, I think sometimes people think we're a bit negative.
Oh, I hope
Do you
not.
ever think that?
Yeah, but I think... Yeah, but I mean, we'd rather be honest and... I hope we don't hurt people's feelings, but we don't name names.
No. I don't necessarily mean negative about people, because I don't think we're ever nasty about people. And we have a joke about scenarios and stuff, but we're laughing at ourselves just as much. But I mean, because we're quite honest and, business networking, that's a bit shit, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one week we need a positivity episode and we just talk about the brilliant things in business.
I think there will be people who we piss off. Because we say, networking shit. But what about if you're listening and you run a networking event? You probably get a bit...
But also, I mean, even in the episode about networking, we spoke about the stuff that we do like.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's kind of a balanced argument.
So as long as you listen, I mean, if you think we're negative, maybe it's a reflection of yourself.
Yep.
Who knows? That's another one of those patronising comments.
Oh, Lloyd.
Anyway, so people, we were kind of, when we were going over subjects to talk about in the podcast, this one kind of did prick Dan's ears up when I said about it.
Well, actually, I came up with a better idea and we did that last week, and then this was the slightly less good idea, so we're doing it this week.
Oh, but listeners, I mean, last week was like a 10 out of 10. This is a 9.5 out of 10, so still well worth sticking with us.
This is going to be really good.
But yeah, we're kind of talking about why speak about people in an episode. And from my point of view, I've realised more and more as we've run the business and meeting people in business that being able to deal with different types of personalities and meeting lots of different types of people and building relationships with them is just as important as basically all of the other stuff.
Yeah. And for us as a service-based business, people are our only asset. It's not like I'm
going to get that tattooed on my arm.
It's not like we've got loads of, stuff that we can... we've got lots of machinery and things like that. It's people. So for us, it's so important to get the right people on board to help us be successful, because if you hire shit people,
also not shit people, Den.
I mean, no, people that
but also I think not just for the success of the business, but for everyone's kind of happiness and enjoyment at work. If you have a group of people that don't necessarily get on, or people that aren't pulling their weight or something, it's a bit of a negative.
Yeah.
So it's really...
I've been feeling that for a few years.
Oh, yeah, good one. Yeah. But when we're hiring now, definitely a massive part of the thought process is
will they fit in?
Will this person kind of like working with the people we have here now? Will we like...
Because we don't want someone to... They could be really good, but then if they don't really like us...
Yeah. That would be...
shit,
imagine doing a great job sitting there and just kind of thinking... I need to talk to him about something, but I know he hates my guts, so I feel a bit bad.
Yeah.
I said he there. It could be a she. We're actually exactly 50-50 male and female in the business at the moment. Yeah, so we're going to tip one way or the other. Yeah. With this new hire.
But people, that's what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, again, meeting people in networking events that we really love and stuff.
Yeah.
I have realised that there are some people that run their own business that are really struggling, but are very, very good at what they do, and they're struggling because they struggle to deal with people.
I was wondering what you were going to say there.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, that took my brain a lot of brain power to get around that.
I said that in a very strange way.
You're really good at this podcasting.
But my thoughts are you meet lots of business people when you run a business.
Yeah.
Some, their business is thriving and it's really exciting to talk about. Some you can tell it's not, and they are struggling. It's a real day-to-day struggle to survive or to win business, to get through. And you meet some people and you think, well, I've seen your work. It's absolutely brilliant. You're highly skilled at what you do. And I do think part of it is it's hard sometimes because you can be very good at what you do, but without the people skills to build relationships, to maintain relationships.
You need to be good at getting people to like and listen to you and take action and do what you want them to do. So you could be the best painter in the world. If you're shit at communicating, to someone why they should buy your painting and that kind of thing, then you're just gonna.
Well, other than the most famous painters in the world, and they die and then they can't communicate, and then they're painting.
But ultimately, like I've said in previous episodes, no matter what you do, who you work for, you are a salesperson. You're a salesperson to sell your ideas to other people. So no matter what, if you work in a kitchen for a restaurant, you're trying to. That was a bad example.
Full of bad examples so far, Dan. Absolutely full of them.
You're trying to get people to do what you want them to do.
Do you want me to make that example better?
Good example.
So you're a chef in the kitchen, and you're actually not the head chef, but you're two below them. Don't know what it's called. Maybe a sous chef. Not sure. I've heard that word before. So the sous chef is thinking, God, I really think this caramelised onion and beetroot pie could be a hit on the menu, but I need to persuade the head chef that it should go on the menu. So they're selling their caramelised onion and beetroot pie.
This is how we should do this podcast from now. I say a good point, but I'm shit at giving examples, and then you just swing in with a good example.
Creative with the examples.
Yeah, give an example of that, Lloyd.
Well, for example, just then, when you said, I gave a good example. Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, that's the next door tooting the horn again.
I don't know if... I'm pretty sure the listeners would have heard that. It sounds like a train is about to go through our office, but we'll keep that in. That's great. Right, so I thought interestingly, God, this is an absolute shambles so far. That sounded like when you're in year 4 when you're in year 4 at school and you have to put right now we're going to work on adverbs or whatever. Yeah. Okay, right, here's an example. I thought interestingly. Oh, well, Lloyd, that doesn't quite work, but really good. Well
we
done
are
for
so
trying.
shit at this podcasting thing, aren't we?
It sounds like we're drunk, I think. We're definitely not, by the way, everyone.
It's like 9
10 in the morning.
Oh, we don't know the time.
Okay, so I didn't think interestingly. I thought it would be a good idea.
I'm not going to get through this. I'm really not.
To start out by actually me and Dan analysing our personalities and each other's personalities.
That sounds interestingly.
And how they affect the business. Because we are, some of you might know us better than others, but we're very different people in some ways, but then we're also similar in some ways.
You think so, do you?
Yeah, I do.
We are very different. I think that's what helps us. Imagine if we were both like two of me, we'd just be arguing all the time. And like two of you, you'd just be
chilling.
Yeah. Sat back.
If there were two of me, we'd be having
so many good ideas.
We'd
together.
be having a
so
great
brainstorming.
time. We would think of so many brilliant creative ideas, and
like
then never
revolutionary.
Yeah, and then never do anything.
But you've had the ideas.
Yeah.
Isn't that all that matters? If you have a really good idea, like lots of people thought of with Uber before Uber, then that's all you need to do.
That is the classic, isn't it? You know what? You know Uber? 10 years ago, I said to my mate, I could start this app, right? And you could do taxis. Oh, did you do it? No, I just carried on drinking my beer. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wrong.
Up.
Yeah. No, but that is a good point. And something that I think people that run businesses on their own don't kind of get. We probably would be quite bad at not bad, but worse than we are at running a business on our own, because
we totally would.
Like I said, I would. So the big picture, the planning of our business, long-term
project management,
stuff,
logistics,
that all comes from me, and Dan would suck at. But so Dan wouldn't have a plan of what's going. Like we've got our 2030 plan. So we the next 10 years we've got real goals, steps to get there, knowing exactly financials of right. We need to hit this every week, to hit this every month, to get to this plan in 10 years.
I wouldn't be hiring anyone either. I'd just be winning all this business and then doing it all myself, working 20 hours a day and just hating my life.
Dan very much isn't a big picture thinker. He thinks of what's happening right now. So it would be like, I've just won a new client. Okay, all right, I'll just stay here until 3 a.m. then, and then come in at 5 tomorrow and to get that done, rather than thinking, if I hired someone.
But no, I was even saying to you the other day, Lloyd, I am so much happier now. There's both of us, and because I absolutely love winning business, meeting people and converting business. What I hate is trying to figure out how to deliver it.
Yeah.
I'm like winning the business, love it. But now I get to do what I'm good at and love doing, and you get to do what you're good at.
That's the thing. You are really, it pains me to say it, but you are really good at that side. You know, the sales and marketing side, which makes sense when, you know, he's the face of our marketing agency. It makes sense that you're good at sales and marketing.
What else am I good at?
But I'm not that great at that side of things.
You've got a face for radio, put it that way.
And a voice for it as well. But yeah, so if it was just Dan, he'd be working every hour under the sun, probably earning decent money in the end, but not having a life.
No, yep.
Winning loads of business, but then having to do it all himself and not thinking of how else he could do it. And if it was only me, I'd have all these brilliant plans, brilliant ideas, absolutely revolutionary. You know, I've got Elon Musk's brain, but the motivation of Homer Simpson. So I'd be chilling. Go, that'd be so good. Should we start on that tomorrow? Yeah. Should we just go home now? Okay.
I think, and also like if you're listening to this and it's just you and your business, I can't emphasize enough how you should consider if there's an area that you're not good at. If you're really good at the technical side but not good at delivery or not good at marketing, thinking of bringing in some kind of other person that has those skills. Because initially I thought I had all the skills I needed, you know, very naively, and then now realizing the skills you have, it's just so much better. And I think there's lots of people who are on the hamster wheel, you know, small business, doing everything. I think the minute that you can start to relieve some of the tasks that you don't need to be doing and there's someone else better to do it, like us, I'm trying to think, what were our first kind of hire was our cousin ages ago, wasn't it?
That was kind of like the first hire. The theory behind it was, oh God, we've got loads of business in, more than we can do ourselves, so let's try and get someone to help.
Yeah. And what were the first things we kind of got Ross to do? Like admin-y stuff maybe, because we would obviously when you're small business you do everything.
Admin stuff. He was sorting out visas for travelling around the world for you for speaking events. He was going to shops and buying random stuff we needed for film shoots, like props.
Because there's something James Sinclair, who I've spoke about before. We went and met him. He's a really successful businessman. In what he always talks about is as soon as you can, stop doing tasks that you don't need to do. Like he even outsource it. Like you're washing. Like Andrew and Pete. I remember speaking to Pete, and he was saying he just outsources everything he can. Outsources his washing, his ironing, his cooking. He orders these the Gusto or whatever. Other brands are available. Whatever those things are. Yeah. So you then don't spend any time doing anything you don't want to do. Yeah. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. I outsource my washing to my fiancée because I don't want to be doing.
Controversial. But I'm sure she outsources some stuff.
She does outsource stuff to me. Yeah. Gardening. Actually, I enjoy gardening, so that's not really.
Oh, should we talk about happiness and gardening a bit more on this business podcast?
So what else do you think?
I agree though. It's a complete weight. I feel like we have both felt over the last sort of year or so. It's a complete weight off of our shoulders, realizing that we don't both need to get involved with everything because we were doing that before. That I am not responsible for winning any business because I was responsible for some of that in the past and I'm rubbish at that. So that was just rubbish. Yeah. And Dan's not responsible for the project management and organising our team to deliver client projects. And
Lloyd used to always want to charge less than it costs us to deliver the work.
Oh God, that's why I'd be so rubbish.
I'd giving away our
I'd meet someone and be like, I really like them. Yeah, can I pay you to do this job, actually? And I come back, Dan, I won the business. How much? We're paying them 100 quid, but, They're a great
really
person.
nice guy.
Yeah, but it really does, like Dan said, I would really, if you're running a business and there's part of your role that you have now realised you're not good at and you've realised you don't enjoy, try and get someone that's good at that to do it.
How?
Well, it depends the size of the business. So you might be a one-man band, and in that case, I'd say look at VAs and part-time workers potentially, freelancers.
Well, if you can't afford them.
Well, I would argue that if you're rubbish at something in the business and you're going to get someone who's really good at it and you're only going to pay them for the time they're working on it, which could be 3 hours a week, that 3 hours a week I think will pay for itself very quickly.
Right. That makes sense. It's a different way of thinking, isn't it? It's a different way of thinking.
If you're just thinking, well, I'm rubbish at the finance stuff, and you can actually, if you focused, it's taking you a day a week to sort out the finances, but you could pay someone who's good at it to do it for an hour, and then you could focus that full day on what you're good at. I think within 2 weeks, it's going to pay for itself.
It's not a cost. It's not necessarily a cost because you're freeing up your time, and your time doing what you're good at is more valuable than, you know.
And it's going to take you longer if you're doing it. So if you're spending a day, I'd say think that might take someone else an hour or two, because you're hiring someone or you know, paying for someone's services for a short amount of time that's really highly skilled at that thing. Yeah. But I think, you know, in a bigger business, if you're running a business and you've actually got a team of people, I think really have a look at yourself and what you're doing. If you're still doing things that you're not good at or you really hate, and you've got a team of people, think about why you're doing that. And if it's, well, everyone's just so busy, it's kind of like, well, it's going to make more sense to hire another person and you not to be busy, and again, it will pay for itself very.
I think this is something I've always struggled with. I'm getting better now. The kind of thinking I need to do everything because I'm obviously better than everyone at doing it, when obviously I'm not. I'm not an idiot. But
I think that's the hard thing. I think running a business as well, most people running a business believe in themselves and have confidence because you've taken the step to run your own business. So you do think you've got to have the confidence of, I think I can do this. And when you start, you've got to do everything. But I think it's working out eventually, all right, I can do it, but there are people that can do this stuff much better. Yeah. Like we're currently hiring, I want to hire someone who's more skilled than me in video. And it's got more experience and more skills and more, because it doesn't make sense to just hire someone that isn't, because then the standard of work's going to be the same. So, and I think it's going to be the same for all areas of our business. We want to continually hire people with different skills and higher level skills than us in certain areas to help the whole team improve over time. So,
what about taking a slight tangent in terms of analysing us? How do we spend so much time together? I was thinking about this the other day. How do we deal with negative situations between us? Like, as in, it made me think, because, you know, sometimes throughout the business when one of us is tired or we kind of are stressy and we're a bit snappy with each other, and then we sort of get stressed, it made me think, when was the last time we were like that? It has been ages since we've been sort of stroppy with each other.
Yeah, I think it's been a while.
Like, I was trying to figure out why is that, and I don't know what's the right way to deal with tension between.
We been like that?
Yeah. Good question. Do you think it's because we've got more defined roles and we're doing what we actually want to do and what we're good at?
I think so.
Rather than me trying to.
Because I think there's certainly, I mean, more so when we were still in a spare bedroom, where it's just me, you, and Ida probably. It got to the point where there was a couple of times where I think Ida was sitting in the room thinking, this is awkward, when we were a bit arsey with each other.
Yeah, just say little snappy lines to each other.
Yeah, and I think it was because we were both doing things that we found difficult and therefore making more mistakes or taking longer to do things or not doing things, and then getting a bit.
Especially that week that you just mucked everything up.
Yeah, I was bringing that was a long time ago. It'll always go down in history as Lloyd's shit week.
Yeah. Ordered 500 business cards with a spelling mistake on the email. Yeah. And just stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting. It's interesting, like, taking the time to analyse yourself. And I've realised I'm doing that way more. Trying to be more self-aware and analyse why you're acting the way you are, and how can you try and be better and stop doing shit stuff.
With that balance, like I said, running a business, you have to have confidence in yourself, But then you've also got to get the balance like we're talking about of knowing when you're not good at something and not just saying, no, I'm running a business. I'm brilliant at everything. Yeah. Because we're all just people and we're all bad at some things and good at some
And I think
things.
it's knowing, again, going back to like when Ida joined and what's it called? Where you hand out tasks to people. I can't think of the word. Delegating some of the stuff, like I was doing all this scheduling our content on social media and posting it when I didn't need to be doing that. And you'd say, why don't we get Ida to do that? And I go, no, but Ida didn't know how to do it. And then you're like, why don't you just do a video showing her how to do it? And I was like, that will take time then. And you're like, but then you'll save that 2 hours a week, every week, forever. And I was like,
I think you definitely...
And then I started to create...
Yeah, when we first hired other people, Dan struggled to get his head around the fact...
They can't do it because they don't know how to do it, Lloyd.
So there'd be some days where Dan would be saying... so Ida,
I'm here till
we
10
keep
p.m.
talking about Ida. That's because after our cousin, Ida was our first significant hire that's still with us. Yeah. And Dan would be going, Ida hasn't got anything to do today. And then 5 minutes later he'd be going, I'm going to be here till 10. I've got so much going on. And it's kind of like trying to get him to connect those dots. So Ida's got 4 hours free, and you're going to stay 4 hours late.
What's the four?
How could we overcome this situation?
I just look at myself. I was stupid. It's just so stupid. I think when you're so in it and this is why it's good that you came on board.
No, but Dan, I do think part of it's your motivation and work ethic. Like we were saying before about how I wouldn't get anything done. Like I
want to get it all done.
Yeah, your immediate reaction to like if there's too much to do is to get it done. Like, all right, I'm going to get it done. Whereas I find it easy to delegate because straight away I'm thinking,
I don't want to do that.
Well, I don't want to do that. Like if I don't have to, we've got a team of people. We can spread out this workload. But yeah, I think it's kind of like it's your work ethic is a positive thing, but it also means you find it hard to...
This is why it is so important to reflect on yourself and how you act. Like I bet there's people listening now that are probably doing in other sort of senses similar things to what I was like, but having the opportunity to sit and think, why am I doing that? And having someone else's different viewpoint like come in and look at that, because I'd still be working till 10 p.m. doing everything.
Yeah. And in business, quite a lot, there's this thing where we all tend to be proud of being busy.
Yeah, yes,
like you meet people, and true. I've said this before
that's the
on
level
the
of success, how busy you are.
How you doing? Yeah, really busy. You? Yeah, busy as well. And it's almost like...
busy doing what?
And in reality, being busy isn't a good thing.
Well, it's how you take that. I don't know, it's what you mean by being busy.
But surely the best way to be is that you've got a successful business running, and you're not busy. You've got enough on your plate to deal with.
No, the busier you are, the better. Luke.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, that's why you've been so busy all this time.
No, but you're exactly right. And it was in episode 1, maybe when we talked about networking. It was the funny thing that we said where everyone wants to look like they're busy because they want to appear successful. You know, their highlight reel, they want to look. If you're busy, it must be people. You've got customers where you meet people like, how are you getting on with work? So busy, so busy. But you've been at 14 networking meetings this week. Yeah, busy with them. Yeah, really busy. Yeah. I've got an interesting question for you about my personality, Dan. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there are any of my personality traits that are holding me back in life? Oh, wow. That's a good question. Personality traits holding you back.
I mean, try and be honest, but also don't make me cry.
Yeah.
But
well, it depends. Holding you back from what, though? Holding you back from being a better human being, or holding you back from being a better dad, or holding you back from being a better business person?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you've got lots of ideas of all the areas I'm failing. Please tell us. I don't know. I just thought.
Well, no, I think independently, just like these would be the opposite for each of us. Like, work ethic. In terms of if you were on your own, you'd have all these great ideas, but wouldn't be doing it. Whereas I wouldn't have any good ideas, but I'd be doing loads of rubbish stuff, loads of hours. So I think, I don't know. I can't think of anything really. What about me?
Oh, well, hang on. So I think of a brilliant question that could be really entertaining for the viewers, and you don't answer it, and then...
I think it needs a bit of thought.
I'll tell you why
I think it needs a bit of thought.
So, well, I can tell you things straight away.
Go on then. What, about yourself or about me?
No, about you, that holds you back.
Oh, go on. I hate criticism.
Do you want? No, but I don't think it's not necessarily criticism.
Go on. Give me a shit sandwich.
I think
start with something nice and then that. Start with a compliment.
First things that don't hold you back.
No, it's to give it.
A shit sandwich.
A criticism.
Yeah. So I have to say something good.
Yes.
Nice t-shirt.
Thanks.
Right, what's holding you back? I think something that holds you back is your short-term memory.
Yep. Sorry, what holds me back? Got
it. No, because I think a lot of time in the day you struggle to line everything up because you start doing something and you think, oh shit, I needed to do that, and then so I don't think that's something you can improve on. I'm just saying I think that genuinely would be something that's slightly, because I think sometimes you're less organised than you could be because you forget what we've spoken about an hour before, and then you think, oh no, now I need to go back and do that. And
I think I also, something else that I've said making me analyse myself now. I
love I asked the question, now let's just talk about Dan's negative.
No, but it's made me think of myself. I really struggle and we've said this before, if I've got a certain task that I'm doing, like in my mind I need to retype these notes here into a neat format. That's in my head I need to get that done. I start that, but then something more important comes up that I'd have to stop doing that to do something else. I really struggle to not constantly think that I want to finish typing these notes up neatly, and then the other task I can't do well because I'm constantly thinking I didn't finish typing these notes up, and now I feel shit.
But I think that could be because you're worried really you're going to forget to finish that first thing. I feel like you're doing it, and then you don't want to.
I think I like the feeling of got my little task there, done it, brilliant, tick that, and you tick the box on your to-do list.
Yeah, cool.
And what about you? Come on, let's think about how you can improve.
Well, there's loads of personality traits that hold me back. But what do you want me to answer my own questions?
I'm trying to think what I said. I said work ethic, but I think you are more structured and organised. Like you said, I'd just stay till 10 and get it done, but because it's not as well organised. Whereas you just work 9 to 5 and get it done the same level because you're better at.
I have to say, I put all of my effort into organising myself so that I don't have to work long hours. That's like my number one thing.
So I guess that's not holding you back, then, is it?
Well, no, but it is, because I think at the end of the day, sometimes I could work harder. And it could help the business.
Yeah.
We've got
such a good balance.
We make it sound like I just sit around doing nothing.
Yeah.
I do think I work hard.
No, of course you do.
But I think I have to push myself to work hard. Like when I come in the morning, some day, I'd say probably 50-50. Some days I'm just excited to get into stuff and I'm like, okay, let's do this. Yeah. Some days I really do have to push myself to get, whereas you naturally are on it, I think, every day.
But again, it's just different personality traits, isn't it?
Let us know in the comments if you're on social media if you're a lazy person like me, or if you've got a good work ethic.
It's interesting. Yeah. Analyze yourself.
Yeah.
What could you do to be a better person?
Do you want to know? Can I say something good about Dan's personality, listeners?
Oh, go on.
Oh, he's very excited.
Oh, that means I've got to try and think of something good about you then.
So no, you don't. It's fine.
Okay.
I immediately said shit stuff about you, and you couldn't think of things at first, so it's fine.
Go on.
So Dan, when he was a kid, I used to constantly wind him up saying he was selfish, which really used to. Yeah, but when he was a kid, he was very much thought about himself first, and he had to really work hard to change that. And as an adult. And just to go into detail about how selfish, he was a teenager. I was supposed to go on holiday. He just stole my passport so we could get some beers from a shop, and then didn't tell me, and I almost missed out on going on holiday. That kind of thing. And just wouldn't buy me birthday or Christmas presents because he was only thinking about himself. So he quickly had to run to the co-op and buy me like a pack of foil or something, because that's all they had.
You love foil though.
But yeah, as an adult, you really do put everyone else and think of everyone else before you, and I just think that's an interesting how over time, like, but I think you're something quite significant in your personality.
Probably because you traumatized me to feel so terrible about it that now I've got some. What's it called? What's the word?
I probably did drill it because when I was a kid, I knew it wound you up for me to just say selfish.
Yeah. And then you went through your teenage stages and used to just punch holes in walls.
Oh God, that was horrible.
It's like, I remember when I was young, I was a horrible child.
No.
And then
Again,
no, it was just
we're being
tantrums
harsh.
and just
Yeah,
an absolute arsehole. Yeah. And then you were lovely, the loveliest boy. You know, you used to cry if anyone spoke to you, and Mrs. Lois had her magic tissues.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to go to that again.
And you were so shy and didn't speak to anyone. And then you became a teen. There was another stage where Lloyd went through, which we call the white stage. He'd only wear white clothes for some reason, and white hats, and literally a whole outfit of white clothes.
Very strange. My mates take the piss out of me for this a lot. And actually on my stag do, they all turned up all wearing white. I just thought that was really cool for a bit.
And then he hit 13. Suddenly he hated our parents, and they were the worst people in the world. And he even reminded me, this is how horrible he was. He even reminded me of a time, I'm not going to repeat exactly, but he shouted in our dad's face, "I effing hate you," or something like this.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, yeah, that is horrible.
And obviously now I'm a parent. I'm scared for Leo to become a teenager because he's a lovely little boy, just like I was at the moment, and he's 3.
Oh man!
But yeah, I just think now looking back, and I'm a parent, and I can see my mum and dad were just trying to do their best to raise this angry little teenager, and I was shouting things like that at them. They were obviously, and it was. Yeah, don't really. It's like, Lloyd, just got your grades again at school. It's all like D's again. And you know, every time with parents' evening, they just say you've got so much potential and could be getting straight A's. Just wondering if we could talk about that. I hate you. Don't talk. Go away. Slamming doors in their face. It's like, oh. But it was like a hormonal thing. I was a very. It was like a 2-year or 18 months or 2-year period. It was like a period actually. Those mood swings. But yeah,
no one's laughing behind the camera.
But yeah, I was an angry. Yeah, the amount of polyfiller Dad needed to use on my bedroom walls, where I just used to lash out.
But then at the same time, I was no angel. I was sneaking out when I was 13, saying I was staying at my mates and going to nightclubs. Remember when Lloyd was just turned 18 and all his mates were in this nightclub?
I wasn't even 18. I was 17, sneaking into this nightclub in Margate, which was called Escape. And so I was out with my mates feeling like I'm a bit of a rebel. Some of them were 18. I was the youngest one of my mates, but luckily I had a tash when I was 12, so I was all right getting in.
Like a really soft one.
Yeah, going, Idie, do you want to just feel my soft little tash I've got here? But yeah, I'm in there drinking, thinking I'm having the time of my life. 17 in a club. God, this is brilliant. I turn around and Dan's there, like 14-year-old Dan, shit-faced with his mates. And why? You're supposed to be sleeping over at Jake's. I thought you were going to the cinema watching the Lego movie.
We had a whole thing in place. You know, they used to do the wristbands in the smoking area. We basically used to go and get people to give us those and then use chewing gum to stick them on, and then you'd have all the colours of the wristband that they change. So you look at what colour it is, and then you'd climb over the fence with the... Can you just tell that one story? It made me think of it, about you getting into a club early, of the ID story. Please tell this story. You know where you showed an orange top? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So there was
so good.
Guys, if you're here for business, we're just going off on a bit of a tangent.
Sorry, but...
If you're here for funny stories, turn the volume up. So there was a thing when I was in sixth form at school, so like 16, 17.
What was it called?
A thing called guest list.
Or was that the actual name of the night?
That's the name of the night. Yeah. And it was basically a night for people that were that age. So in like doing their, anyway, 16 or 17 or 18. Oh no, it can't have been.
No, it can't have been because you needed ID to get in.
But it was marketed to 16 and 17 year olds, but you had to be 18 to get in. So I don't know, work that one out. Surprisingly, this place is closed down. And so we basically they kind of hired people within schools. They'd get like the cool kid.
It's so unethical.
Yeah,
now.
They'd get the cool kid in sixth form, and they'd go, "Oh, sell these. It's like a tenner a ticket. We'll give you £1 for each one." Obviously, they got shitloads of people. That kid earned like 30 quid and made so much profit for these places. And I was like, oh no, I don't turn 18 till after we finish school. I'm one of the young ones in school. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. What they do, you just give them, when they ask for ID, give them any card, and they just like flash it to the cameras, so
to look like
if the police ever check the cameras, it looks
makes
like
sense.
they checked ID.
Completely makes sense.
Genius.
How
So
cool
I
is
was
that?
like, oh, you sure? Okay, yeah, I'll go then. So I'm queuing there. I'm a bit nervous because I'm thinking.
Just picture 17-year-old Lloyd.
Yeah.
Like at the.
And probably
in his suit trousers and loafers and dad's shirt.
God, yeah. Looking back at what I was wearing as well, trying to look older.
Sorry, Lloyd. Carry
basically got my school shoes on because I think that makes me look smart. And we're in this queue. Probably 2/3 of my mates were over 18, so they were just fine. Probably even more than that, and I was one of the only ones. I thought, stick with them. Yeah, right. Said ID. I thought,
tried the tash. Tried the soft tash.
Yeah, soft tash. Do you want to feel that? No, you want an actual card. So I got at this point. I don't even know if they still do them. You had a swipe card to top up the credit.
Orange top up card.
I had an orange top up card. Sort of gave him a bit of wink. There you go. He just looked up at me. I went, "Are you fucking joking?" And I was like, immediately started sweating profusely. Don't know if I said that word right, but that's what I was doing. And I was kind of like, well, my friend Craig said if I just he was going, that's a top up card, mate. Do you want my date of birth? 88, not 89. And he was like looking at me, and I was clearly just panicking. I think sweating so much, so red, and then I realised actually he was just a typical bouncer who was just getting a kick out of seeing someone having a negative experience. He went, "Oh, joking, mate. In you go." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I went in.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, that was anyway. How do we get there? Don't know.
Oh, there's so many more stories I want to talk about.
Back to the
trying to
Business
be normal
Anchors
again.
podcast. So, firstly, we've actually got we've missed this out in a couple of episodes, but we've got a drink. So for the listeners, we're going to have to do a good description because Lauren has brought us in a mystery drink. She told us how to pronounce it, but I can't remember.
How do you say it,
I'm going to go with Ramune.
Is that right? How do you say it?
Ramune. Oh, I wasn't so far off. Ramune. And it looks really complicated to open.
It's got like a weird plastic thing on the top.
Bottle with like a plastic bit like you get on a wine bottle. So we'll take that off first.
Oh.
And a green bit of plastic has fallen off the top.
Do you push that down? Okay, so it's got like a weird plastic thing that you push down, and apparently there's a
weird. What, like that? You push that down?
I think so.
This is so weird, listeners. We're doing terribly at. Is that what you do, Lauren? Are we doing this right?
You have to separate the green bit.
Separate the green.
Okay.
Right. Oh, and then like that.
Yeah, okay, so we've separated it. We're trying to push it down. It's like a wine bottle, but we're trying to force the cork into it. Oh, did yours work? Look.
Whoa, a glass,
A little
ball came
ball
down.
pops out. Oh, mine's worked too.
Do you just drink it like that, or do you need to wait, Lauren? Okay, cool.
Oh, so it's,
right,
listeners, it's popped a little like what looks like a glass ball, probably not glass, into the neck of the bottle, and now we've got to drink
And after all that, it tastes like lemonade.
Oh, now do you know what it tastes like, Dan?
Go on.
It tastes like Love Hearts, the sweet.
Oh, it does actually. Like not purple violets.
The bit at the top of the bottle where you drink from is designed terribly, and it's really hard to drink. I mean, I've got.
Try to describe that. It's like a semicircle with a hole in the top.
If you're
that you can't get your
listeners
lips
of the
around.
podcast rather than viewers on YouTube, just let you know, I've got massive lips. So trying to get them out of the way to drink this, and also got massive front teeth. So this is quite a challenge for me.
Imagine like a soy sauce bottle. You know, they kind of have a hole in the top, and you just imagine trying to drink out of that, but a massive version of that.
Yeah. Oh, I like the taste though. Thank you, Lauren. So that is
Ramune.
Yeah, I've forgotten again, so I'm going to go for it. And that is a Business Anchors podcast sponsored by Ramune. Something like that. Lauren's laughing. Probably not how you say it.
Oh,
okay.
Oh. Can't stop laughing today.
Yeah, this is a weird podcast.
Yeah.
Listeners, I don't know if I should apologise. Yeah, it's pretty weird so far. It's just one of those episodes. We're going to look back at the stats and go, oh, no one really listened to the full episode there because we rambled on and it was mental.
Oh, man.
Before we move on, please do leave us a review, guys. And we normally do this. It's worked quite well, actually. So asking you to review the podcast with a certain word in, we're getting more reviews than we normally do.
Yeah.
So this tactic's working brilliantly. So please review us with the word ramyones.
Yeah, and
just spell it how you think it's spelled.
How can you integrate that into a sentence without?
Do you want me to give you some examples?
Go on then.
God, this really made me laugh to the core of my ramyones. Don't know what that means.
Even mean?
I was listening to this podcast on my commute, and I laughed so hard I dropped my ramyones. Doesn't need to make sense. Just try and intrigue people. So there's some examples, guys. Give us a review. We've been charting in Denmark recently. So hi to all our Danish fans.
Or in Danish. Oh,
hi to all our Danish fans. Now, love your pastries. Keep up the good work. Bit too much, if anything.
Right.
Right. Oh, God, this is so weird. Okay, back to the discussion.
So,
next we're going to... for those business listeners who switched off 20 minutes ago, we're now back to business. So anyone who's listening for the entertainment, tell those business listeners to turn back on at this point in the podcast.
This is going to be really not entertaining and business focused.
Yeah.
So this is actually interesting.
As opposed to all of the rest of the podcast.
No, so we've mentioned quite a lot this Agency-nomics book. Really good book. In that book, are you trying to drink the drink?
Sorry, just really struggling to drink that. Sorry, let's just...
So in this Agency-nomics book, which I've just finished, it's a really good feeling to finish a book. We were saying this yesterday, like to look at a book and finish. Anyway, finish the book. And in that book, it talks through something really interesting about customers and clients and about the different types of clients you can get and how you need to treat them differently. Are you listening, Lloyd? Because you're just staring at this bottle.
I'm intrigued by this bottle. That little glass ball that popped out, I'm just trying to work out what it does.
Was it really that boring what I was talking about?
Sorry. Probably. Sorry,
right, you listening now?
Yeah, listening now. Sorry.
Okay. So it talks about different types of customers and how you need to treat them differently. So it talks through these 4 types of customers. It's on page 108 of the Agency-nomics books if you're interested. So the first customer personality. Oops, sorry, just burped. Sorry,
that's getting worse and worse.
Sorry, is called a fame client. So these are customers who want you to make them look good, right? So you burping as well.
God, Lauren has bought us the gassiest drink. just to make this podcast even worse than it already is.
The first type of customer is called a fame client, who wants you to make them look good. So it's important to understand the different goals and motivations of your client so that you can help them achieve whatever they want to achieve so that they convert and become a client. So this client wants you to win them awards, wants you to make them look good to their boss. So what you'd be doing with this type of person would be putting the work you're doing with them in for awards and thinking about speaking to that person's manager, the decision maker's manager or person above them, and communicating how well they're doing to try and make them look good.
I think this is so interesting because I only thought about this when I first read this book probably about 18 months ago. And before that, I just treated every client as a client. So it's a standard way we treat clients. So we try and do a really good job for them. We try and be nice to them. We try and make sure they like us and want to work with us. But I did find this really interesting because once I'd read it, I kind of thought I looked back at clients that maybe we might have worked with 2 years ago.
Because we completely didn't.
And thought, they definitely would have wanted that.
And we were going down the wrong.
We did a great job for them. They were happy, but it kind of fizzled out after a while. And I was thinking, that's definitely what they wanted.
Yep.
So it's really interesting to think of this now. Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah. That's a really good point. So that's the first one. The next type of client they talk through is the schmooze client. What do you think the schmooze client is, Lloyd?
The schmooze client?
Yeah.
I'll try and remember.
Go on.
From 18 months ago. So is this where basically they want you to do a good job, obviously. You can't just be rubbish.
Yeah.
But they also occasionally want you to kind of wine and dine them, make them feel a bit special, basically. So, we're taking all our clients to this football match at Wembley. Yep. Do you want to come? Or... we're putting on this party, free bar. We do this once a year. Come along. There's other clients.
Yeah,
stuff
they
like
want
that.
to be schmoozed. They want to be schmoozed, basically. And it says,
clues in the name.
Yeah, it says in the book that when you have meetings with them, rather than saying, "Oh, come to our office and we'll have a meeting, or we'll come to you," it's things like, "Come out for a dinner and we'll talk through this thing," or "Come out for a beer," or "We'll go," like you said, and watch the football. So, and looking back, there's definitely I can think of some clients where we've sort of had that relationship with, where you can tell, you know, they're in a role where it's part of their job. If an agency wants to take them out, then they need to do that. So you know, it's going to make their life more.
Even you saying it, Dan, even though I've read this book and you've read it, I'm just thinking we need to be thinking about this even more in our business.
I don't think we schmooze clients enough.
No,
we really don't.
We really don't. I think still, even though we've learnt this lesson, we focus, which I think isn't a bad thing, but we focus. You know what there, Lauren? I think Lauren just punched the camera. The listeners won't know, but it was quite funny, so I thought I'd let you know. Even though we learnt this lesson, I feel like we focus on just doing a brilliant job, which don't get me wrong, I think that's the first thing to focus on. Yeah. But in reality, to be most successful for our business and make sure we retain our clients, we need to be thinking, okay, we're doing a good job. Yeah. But if agency B down the road says, be interested to work with you, got these tickets to go to this thing, if you want to have a chat, then that might convince that person to think, if I get to go to this rugby every couple of months.
The frustrating thing is that there's agencies that are shitter than us, but they're really good at schmoozing. So they have a really good, like in the sketches we've done before, they have a really good relationship with the client. So no matter how good a job they do, because they're real good schmoozers, they'll just stick with that agency. But so we need to up our schmoozing.
Fair play to them. They're doing what they need to do to keep those clients and to win those clients. And if we're not, then that's where we need to improve.
I think you should be schmoozing me to keep me in the business.
Oh, really?
I'm joking. I don't need
okay.
I'm not a schmooze. No, I don't need schmoozing.
I do occasionally go to the co-op and bring back beers to put in the fridge for Dan. I think that's my schmoozing and keeps him happy.
So moving on to the third one, perfectionist clients. So these are the clients, and again, this when you think about this, it's so true. There's some clients that just want you to do a good job and don't care about anything else, and to make their lives easier, so they can say to their managers, "Look, they did a good job, like they're supposed to," or you know.
And I think you can totally tell this, because the difference between the schmooze and this one, there'll be some people you would say to them, "I've got tickets to go and see Jennifer Lopez at the O2." Oh God, that's such an outdated reference.
Do you remember your poster of her?
Someone better than that at the O2, and they actually, I feel like there's a lot of people that would just kind of awkwardly be like, "Oh right, sounds good, but I think I might be," and it's like it actually could be a negative thing trying to schmooze them when they're like,
because they feel awkward saying no, and they actually put them in.
I just want someone that can do a good job for me. Contact me
about the work. I don't interact with you much.
I don't want to be mates. I don't want to. Yeah, interesting.
So that's the other one, and then finally, this is an interesting one. They call it the bully, basically, and they describe it as a client who wants to tell you how to do your job better, and. It's interesting. They describe this client, and it sounded like a horrible client to have. But in the book, they say that, you know, if this client could be bringing in a lot of money. Like in the book, they said they had a client like this that was bringing in like £1 million revenue a year, and they had to just manage the client. And actually, sometimes these bully clients need to be told and need you to say, "No, we can't do that." Or no, not we can't do that, but no, we're not doing that because of X, Y, Z. This is the approach we're taking.
So is it as in you could actually be doing a better job for them, but they're basically, "I'm paying you to do this way," and so part of it is actually some things you've just got to do it how they want to do it, and they're paying you, so they're helping your business.
And asking for extra stuff, like you agree a project, and then them saying, "Oh, can you just add on another 20 pages to that website?"
Right.
But the tip they give in the agency economics book is you need to manage expectations up front that any additional work you're doing is charged at a rate. And they say in the book that actually a lot of these bully clients know that as well, and they accept that. But you're the one that needs, when they say, "Can you do these extra 20 things?" You need to say, "Yep, we can do that. That'll take X time, and we'll charge that."
They actually just need managing. They think, "I'll get away with it if I can, but I'll pay for it if I need to."
Yeah. But I mean, reading this, that I think from our perspective, I want to try and not take on any clients like that, but I suppose if it's gonna double our revenue. But it depends what your goals are then. Yeah. When you're trying to grow a business, if you are getting a good income for the time and resources you have to put into a project, then it makes sense most of the time. But for us, we've agreed that our number one objective isn't to grow as fast as possible. We want to grow and our happiness stay high as well with the growth. So like we've said before, we could hire another 3 people and just put a lot of pressure on ourselves to generate the sale.
Because we could genuinely hire 3 people next week.
All right, Shelf.
massive business. Not even 10 people yet, but we could hire another 3. No, but I'm trying to emphasise the point that in our goals really are.
I think it sounds weird saying that though. Like, it sounds like we're just saying it because we're not good enough to grow that quickly. But I don't know. I really do think if an opportunity came now with a bully client and we looked at it and thought, that's a load of revenue, but we'd hate our lives, we wouldn't do it. Whereas I think a lot of agencies would do it and take it on. But
interesting. But yeah, this whole thing done with those different types of clients really reinforces what I said at the start of this podcast, which is about how managing to deal with different people and personalities is just as big as actually being good at what you do. Because if, I'm saying we haven't even been good at this stuff, but I think at least we've been good at keeping most of our clients on side and knowing how to deal with them. Whereas if you get that wrong over half of the time, you're constantly losing clients and then having to work harder and harder to win new ones.
I think, like you said, doing a good job is the most important thing, because then you're already halfway to them wanting to continue to work with you. But then it's the other bits that, like you said, we need to get better at schmoozing and maintaining those touch points. And
if you're one of our competitors and you're thinking, okay, clearly they're doing a good job, but I want to steal this client, it's like, okay, prove you can do the same job and take them out to dinner and take them to football matches and take them to... I mean, please don't.
You're just trying to get our competitors to nick our clients.
I wonder if our competitors are listening. Well, I find it hard to even name our competitors because we're quite unique.
Yeah, and also I just don't... we're mates with other agencies and we refer work to each other. So I totally don't see the us and them mentality.
Still don't... I mean, we still don't want them to steal our clients.
But I mean, if they have the ability to steal them, then that's our own fault. We should be blaming ourselves.
So please steal them so we can learn the lesson. Great.
Cool, interesting chat, Lloyd.
Yeah, cool. Do you know what I think we should do? Because so the last episode we spoke about this agency-nomics book. Dan...
What, this one here?
Yeah, Dan's just finished it. If you run any kind of agency business... or anything that kind of fits in that kind of model of a service-based business, you should 100% read this book. And I think, I haven't looked at how much it costs, so I might regret this, but if you leave us a comment with the word Ramones, like we asked you to, not a comment, sorry, forget that, not a comment, bloody hell, this could get expensive, a review for the podcast with the word Ramones, spell it however you want to, I'm saying it wrong, so you definitely can't get the spelling right, then we will give up to 5 of you a book. We'll send it to you. We normally, when we do this, get sort of about 5 reviews. So I was just thinking, if I just say everyone, we might have loads of reviews. The podcast will do great, but we got to fork out £3,000 on books. So I don't really want to do that next one. So if you are interested in that book, we'll send you a copy if you do that this week.
Are you actually going to do that though? Because I had people messaging me. You still never sent those personalised video messages to all the people that left a review the first time we asked them. So are you going to do that?
We'll definitely do the book thing.
Okay.
I feel bad. I did forget to do that.
Classic Lloyd. Great ideas, no execution.
Brilliant ideas. If you do want a video message from me, just contact me on social media and say you owe me a video, and I will send one back to you. And if I don't, this time it really confirms I'm a terrible person. So I will do that. We're just ending this part. We're going to continue talking about people, and we will be announcing the winner of the signed Gary V book.
Oh, nice.
Because we did a random name selector and
keep listening to part 2.
Keep listening,
which is playing
now. But sometimes, annoyingly, it goes to the wrong episode. So just make sure it continues to part 2. Okay, all right. See you in a bit.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.